So I'm pretty sure this is how every sailing YouTube channel has started. I'm bored of my life. Not getting any real fulfillment out of it. So I'm gearing up to take off for a year. Just learn how to sail. And I'm looking for something different and some adventure, some travel. And I already like to be honest, some of my favorite memories are memories that like they sucked while they happened, but they're amazing now. Like getting stuck in the middle of the woods, out mudding and stuff like that, or like just busting missions, having to go save some, like having to go do rescue missions. There was a time that my ATV didn't come off of the back of my truck. But like I was always out in the woods. I was always getting somebody. I was out riding by myself. Like I want that back. So I think I'm doing the sailing. Like I think I'm getting into sailing because I want to go see other things. I want to do cool shit. It's like I always like trying to make things as simple as possible. I want to just do cool shit, and I want to have a memory of it. And to be honest, I'm not betting on the channel ever making $1. It would be cool. It'd be really cool, but I'm not betting on it. There's an absurd amount of YouTube channels all pertaining to sailing and people doing the exact same thing, so it's not even like an original thought. The only thing is, like, I have different goals. Like, I'm going sailing to go fishing. It's really what I'm doing. I'm using the sailboat as a means of being my house, my home base, my, where I keep all the things I love. Got my dogs. They obviously need to come with me. And to be honest, I like the idea of comfort while you're out in the ocean. And I don't understand why more sailing YouTube channels just don't outfit their sailboat to go fishing. So I've come up with a couple theories, because as anybody that ends up getting into sailing, they have a million theories. And then it's like any other project. The moment you start working on it, all of your theories are wrong. Every single bit of it. Some of them are right, so. But I just don't think that many of the people are actual fishermen. So, if you don't know what to look for, and I'm not saying that I know what to look for, but I know more than them, at least from the ones that I've seen. Like, if you don't know, if you're ignorant to something, it's like not knowing a language. Fishing is definitely like a language. It's looking at, the beat, it's looking at the coastline, knowing the fish, and it's knowing the fish species that are going to be in one area versus another area. It's what even that area could produce, if it produces anything. And every single time that you think that you know something, like, you get thrown a curveball. There's beautiful structure, no fish on it. There's a gorgeous coastline, it should be covered in fish. Nothing. Barren. And then you look at some places and you're just like, there's not why would a fish be in this danky, hot, soupy, stagnant water? And then you cast your line back there and you catch, 15, 20 fucking snook, no bigger than a foot. It's fishing. It's wonderful. And I think that sailing is also a good parallel to it. Go to the most remote places. Like, I'm planning on doing Jeep drop rigs on my boat. And what I've noticed is I think everything on a boat should do more than one thing. Like, it should have multiple uses, and if it doesn't have multiple uses, that one use can't be, like, done with something else that has multiple uses. So what I mean by that is, like, pliers. You could use pliers for anything. Knives. You could use knives for anything. Like, you let your imagination go with tools, basically same thing. Specialty tools, obviously, specialty tools are specialty tools. Even if you use it once, if it saves you 3 hours worth of work, it's worth having if you have the space. So I've been thinking of, like, how to outfit a sailboat with deep drop rigs. Like, I'm thinking one on each side, but then also those could be outriggers, because nobody's ever running more than, like, most people are just, if they have a radar arch, they're running 2 off the back, 1 down the middle, which is fine. But if you were, like, fishing, and you had the time, and you were going to be out there for days, hours, days, whatever the case may be, you're going to be running over prime ground, going at the same speed that you would be going, like, you would be trolling anyways, and it costs you nothing but time. I would be fishing 2 on each outrigger, 1 outrigger up, 2 outriggers on the top. I'd have 1 deep straight down the middle. That would probably be like a hand line on a planer. Fight a wahoo with a hand line. And then I'd have 2 middle baits. Like that, I'm covering a multitude of water column. So, like, a wahoo, bro, you know how cool it would be? Like, I don't think you'd be able to catch a marlin on a sailboat unless... I'm to be real honest, I'm a bass fisherman. I love bass fishing. It's what I grew up doing. It's my favorite. I love canals. I love lakes. I live in fucking South Florida. I've been fishing these canals around my neighborhood since I was, like, maybe... The earliest I could remember is probably, like, 8. But maybe even younger than that. As weird as that sounds, but I've lived in this neighborhood for 23 years. Like, everybody that's lived in this neighborhood has known me. I've always had a fishing rod. I've always ran around. I was in people's backyards fishing and stuff like that. No fucking shame. And then when I learned how to use the bus, like, when I got old enough, when I got old enough to use the bus, I used to ride the fucking bus to go fishing. All the time. Or I'd walk. I'd ride my bike for fucking a ridiculous amount of miles. And then I got a GoPed. And I just started riding my GoPed around. Always with the fishing rod. So I've always been a bass fisherman. Like, I got to see the decline of largemouth in all of Broward County, and then the rise of peacock bass. I saw it because I was fishing it. I never caught a peacock bass, and then all of a sudden I started catching peacock bass. Mayan cichlids, same thing. Like, down south, it was a Miami thing, and then the slow progression forward. Remember not seeing iguanas, and then catching iguanas. Like, there was always a small, little, tiny population. Of course, they get bigger. Invasive species are amazing. They're so, like, good at just... There's an immigrant drive that most people don't understand, because most people's family has lived in the exact same place over and over and over again. But immigrants, like, you gotta hustle, man. You get somewhere, you gotta move. You either come with what you brung, and then if you could find a better place, bro. If you could find a better place that's cheap, like, that's perfect. Who cares? Like, we've gotten so attached to instant as people, myself included, that like the idea of living anywhere that you can't get something within 24 to 48 hours, it's just like, for most people, it's impossible. And I think that, like, because I grew up... Look at my crazy ass fucking dogs in here. Come on. And I think it's because I grew up not having an instant life, and then even if something was instant, chances are I had to wait for it. Like, save up or work towards it or figure out how to get it. So, I think the sailing lifestyle is gonna fit very well into the... Like, I so badly want to fish more. And I fish a lot. I fish, like, I'm not fishing today because, I don't know. It's just, I'll probably go fishing in the afternoon. But I fish almost every day. And I've come up with this concept because I'm not a great fisherman. Like, I'm better than average, but I'm not fucking great. And I think that that's always been my ticket. Like, I'm not great at anything, but get down, annoying bitch. Rooster, stop licking me. Hey, stop. But I'm better than average. At least I think I'm better than average. So I usually have better than average outcomes. But not great. So I want to become great at a few things. And I don't think that I could become great in a year or 2 or 3 or anything along those lines. But I got a theory that if you could hyper focus on a few things for a year or 2 and do very little of anything else, I think that could put you past... I think that could get you at least halfway. So if, like, greatness or mastery, whatever term you want to use, is 10,000 whatever, 10,000 reps, 10,000 hours, 10,000 words, 10,000 whatever. That golden rule of professionalism is it's 10,000, or at least that's guidelines, right? Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Like, I'm pretty sure even 10,000 hours of Japanese sword making is probably miles. But, 10,000 squats, probably easier to achieve. So, I want to be an all-around better fisherman in general. And I want to fish different locations around the world. And I can't get there by normal means of travel. Just, I don't have the money. The idea kind of started with, Bad Company. I'm trying to be the Wish version of Bad Company. They got like millions of dollars worth of equipment. I'm trying to do this with like thousands of dollars worth of equipment. Maybe like in total a few $100,000. Maybe like $100,000 worth of shit. There's a sailboat that I'm currently really harping on. it got given away to somebody. And I don't normally like to wish negative on somebody. So that's not what I'm trying to do. But if I can cash in a little bit of karma, and I know that I'll pay for it within the building process. But if I could get that boat, I would be able to... I know enough about projects to know that I have no idea what the fuck I'm getting myself into. Because I've never done this before. I've only seen videos. I've only seen total refits. And it's... I know it's an uphill battle. I so know it's an uphill battle. But it would be so cool. And I would be able to get everything that I want in the boat. And I love impossible tasks. I like a seemingly impossible task. And it's not really impossible, it's just that most people aren't gonna do it. I like that. I want to bring along a flats boat. Little micro skiff. Polling platform. 12 volt 12 volt trolling motor. And 25 horsepower. I ideally want to bring my best friend's boat, but he doesn't want to reproduce it. If he did reproduce it, this would be an amazing marketing ploy, because I want to travel all around the fucking world and flats fish everywhere. Fly, spinning, baitcaster. Like, I want to fish. I want to go up the Amazon. I want to go on fucking adventures. I want to be in places where, like, I don't have anything to do. Like, I have a bunch of shit to do, but I don't want to do any of this shit. Like, I have to replace the floor in this fucking place because I have a leak above the door. And I got a leak above the door. I got a leak in the bathroom. Like, there's a lot of work that needs to go into this place. I'd rather put that work into the boat. I really do. Like, this is a really good spot, but I'd rather put the work into the boat. If I don't get this boat, if this boat does go to somebody else, which it probably is, the guy I should have went when I saw the boat to go ask. It's a Mayflower 48. It's not a really well-known boat. There's not a lot of people that have them. There's not a lot of information. It's a fucking close-knit group of people. But they're apparently spot-on blue water boats. It's a catch, which I am a fucking fanboy of sailboat channels on YouTube. I watch all of them. While I'm at work, I ain't got shit to fucking do. Put my phone on, and I watch sailing. I got music in the morning, usually Joe Rogan, mid-afternoon. If he drop, like, I listen to every single one of his fucking podcasts. So, like, I don't own a lot of fanboys, but I'm a fanboy of cool shit. At least like, what I think is cool. I also listen to a bunch of other podcasts to fill in the blanks, in between space and time when I'm doing shit. I watch, like, I consume so much sailing videos. I'm gonna be real honest, I'm not a Patreon of any of them. So I'm not. I've gotten into liking every single video I watch, though, because I see that that's pretty important for algorithms and stuff like that. But I really enjoy the long ones. Like the not too edited, kind of just long. Like I like the I like the little time lapse breaks and stuff. I've been taking a lot of notes on what I think makes a good sailing YouTube channel. And I have some ideas that I'm gonna do with mine. American YouTube Guy is definitely not my favorite name for this channel. It was just so stupid that it wasn't taken. I was like, fuck, man. That could totally be a parody YouTube channel. So it's gonna be my primary one for right now until I can figure out a name for the sailboat channel, or for just my life channel. Like, in this process, I'm hoping that these people kind of fall through. I'm actually not hoping that they fall through. I'm hoping that they start thinking about the idea and then realize how big of an endeavor it is, and then that gets their mind in the process of, damn, maybe we can do this with something that has less work. Like, I want the work. Most people don't. Hopefully they are most people. And then they start really, like, paying attention to it. And then they decide not to do it. So that's what I'm hoping. And then I hope that they find, like, a better boat. Like 100 times better boat. I hope that they upgrade twice. But I want this boat. I like that it's not a very well-known boat. I could get just that alone. Like, just that idea alone. And that backstory. My friend's micro skiff, he traded for a Honda 400 four-wheeler that we had a lot of great memories on. But he traded a yellow Honda 400 for a yellow flat skiff with a 25 horsepower 2-stroke on it. I've had more adventures on that boat than any other boat in this entire world. That is my favorite boat. I love that boat. I love that boat so much that, like, I constantly tell this guy that I want that boat. I want that boat. I want another, like, let's pop a mold off of it, even if we just make 3 just to cover cost. Like, I want that boat. I want to travel around the world with that boat. We've almost sunk in Florida Bay with that boat. In Florida Bay, we've almost sunk, how many times have we almost sunk that boat? At least 4 times that I could think of. I've had to go pick him up because the battery went underwater and, like, fuck shit up, and then he couldn't go, like, turn it on, so I've had to go at, 9-10 o'clock at night to go fucking pick him up in my flats boat. Oh man, I love that boat, and I want to travel around the world with it. And I want to, hey, that's it, stop it. I want to take this dum-dum with me. Bim. I'll take that dum-dum with me. Not that dum-dum, that's my sister's dog that I'm taking care of. And she's a good dog. She's an asshole though. So, the Mayflower backstory that there's not a lot of them. And the ones that they are, like, they're well taken care of. This one is not. This is a free boat. This needs a lot of fucking work. It doesn't have the teak deck. It doesn't have masts, which hopefully they still have the mast, which would be nice. I'd save a lot of money. But I was planning on spending like $30,000 and then putting another $30,000. I'd be down to spend $60,000 on this boat. And what I would do is blue water redundancies. and I'd build it to fish, as previously stated. Kraken boats, I've already seen like 2 interviews with the guy that created that. Like that's what I would be doing. That's how I would outfit this boat. I want it to look good because it's a pretty boat. That butt. It's something about the Vagabond, not so much the Formosa, but the Formosa, like a 46. Oh my god, there's a 46. It's in California. It's beautiful. I loved it. It's it was a sloop. Was it a sloop or a cutter? I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was a cutter. But it was beautiful. It got sold. They were asking 60, but it needed work, so I hope they got it cheap. Vagabond 42 is like, but this is like a Vagabond 42 on steroids. The only thing, and this is something that I would spend money on, that I would do. 1, more sails. I love the idea of more sails. I love the idea of having, like, finding a perfect way. And this is so stupid. It doesn't have anything to do with reality. But, like, having every sail open and just, like, coasting with just enough wind to have everything open and not out of control. And then, like, a drone shot of a 360 all the way around of that. But I love a catch. It's so hot that the AC doesn't turn off, so eventually the circuit breaker gets hot and it pops. So, shout out to Florida. So what, I gotta play with it every once in a while. This place needs work. But I want a boat so bad. So, hold on. My idea would be, if I did get this boat, Bowsprit. Full stainless steel, beautiful Bowsprit. Like, almost like a steampunk. Just got a really good idea. So, I'm not a really big, I am a above average anime fan. And One Piece has captured every part of my imagination. So, I actually had I had a wonderful artist. I forgot her. Kara Puig. Shout out Kara. Or Carla. I'm really bad with names. Dyslexic, it's not my fault. I'm also a millennial, it's not my fault. So she made me an anime inspired like drawing of me and Rooster on a sailboat. And it's purple. I don't think this boat's purple, but it might be. It might be. It might also be navy blue, or that deep dark, like, emerald green. That, like, storm emerald green. Or purple in that deep emerald green. But now that I thought about that steampunk thing, a bowsprit up there with 2 roller for, I don't know what they're called, okay? But I've seen boats that have 2 roller furlers up in the front. And I guess that would be a cutter rig. But I've seen it on catches. So I don't know what that hybrid, whatever. It's a lot of fucking sails. It's 4 sails. So I want to do that. And maybe I'd do like an anodized gold bowsprit. All like stainless steel or aluminum, anodized aluminum. Like in gold or silver. Silver would look badass. Like polished aluminum. But like a nice bowsprit. Because I also want to sit up there. With dolphins. Like jumping in front of a boat. Yeah. Come on, man. Told you. Dreamer. We're sailing fucking around the world watching all these people do it. So, how am I doing this? I'm gonna go check on that boat. That guy's gonna get annoyed of me. But I'm literally just gonna stop by like every like 2-3 days. I think like 3 days. Every 3 days. I'm just gonna pass by. Like, hey. They still figuring out the boat thing? And no matter how much work it takes, it's floating. I hope that it's... I'm actually hoping that it's really bad. But if it's not really bad, it's gonna be a hard decision because I want to take out the gas tanks. For sure. Take out the gas tanks. Add water. And so if it's built like the other ones, it would have 2 100-gallon water tanks. So 200 gallons of water. You also have to remember this is the 80s, so the water makers didn't exist. So it has 200 gallons of fresh water. I would turn one of those 100 gallons into diesel. Actually, into gas. Like I would have 100 gallons of gas on board, or the possibility of 100 gallons of gas. And the reason for that is I have friends with big boats. So if I have 100 gallons of gas and a way to pump it out, then I would definitely make a way to pump it out. Also, if I have a flats boat, it means I'm gonna be running a lot. Like, I love long runs on a fucking micro skiff. There's nothing like it. There's no... It's like, to be honest, riding my GoPed was like, I've always chased freedom in the weirdest way possible. Like, either not being around people, having some kind of a motorized thing, being in the Everglades, like I've always chased not being around people and freedom. Like, I don't like anybody judging me on me smoking a fucking joint or out there having a fucking beer or whatever the case may be. Because if I'm out there by myself, there's nobody to judge me. It's wonderful. If I'm out there with my friends, there's nobody to judge me. It's wonderful. And usually if you're out there, you're not fucking worried about anybody. Because you're pretty self-reliant. So I like that. So riding a micro skiff through, like, just being able to not, like, people can't get to where you're gonna get to. And then the people that can get there are usually pretty cool. Or they're a bunch of assholes. Both of those things are true. So, I want to, like, it's like having a fucking GoPed and then running around in the mangroves. It's beautiful. So, 100 gallons, I think, would be, like, key. Then, there's twin 75-gallon gas tanks in the front. Those are made out of black steel, and they're probably rusted out already. As everybody has an issue with that. I wish there was, like... I wish you could go in there with, like, hit it with, like, a wire brush. Just beat the shit out of the inside with the wire. Like, but you can't get your hand in there. So there's no real way to do, like, a good job of it. But if you could put like a rubberized like chemical coating on the inside and then make it work that way, that would be cool. I've seen people do bladders and stuff like that, but I feel like if it's rusted and you do a bladder, like it's gonna shift at some point and it's gonna cut that bladder, and then that bladder is gonna leak into the gas tank, and it's gonna sit in between the gas tank and the, like, I just feel like that's a lot of work eventually anyways. So I might as well do it now. So if I could rip out those 2 gas tanks, they're 2 75-gallon gas tanks, I would just bump it up to 100 gallons. God damn. We just bump it up to 100 gallons. Then it probably, the stateroom in the front, I'll run that AC for a little bit. The stateroom in the front is probably bed style. Like a full-size bed style. So what I would do is try to see if I could put a 2-bunk and possibly a 3-bunk. It would be kind of cool. What I want is to fit a good amount of people. Like, kids don't count. As fucked up as that sounds, bro, we throw kids on the floor. Like, they could be uncomfortable. They'll wake up in the morning and be fine. Like, they're chilling. So I think if I could have 100 gallons, so I could guarantee my friends could get back to wherever, to gas, be able to fill up. My friends are adventurous enough, and they got big enough boats that they'd go meet me out there for a while. Like, Big Danny, I could probably get Big Danny to do, like, for the right, he'd definitely do 300 miles round. Like, he'd do a 300-mile run. We're all also really used to long drives. Everybody enjoys it. Everybody likes it. So, if we pick fishing spots in the opposite way, it's like, yo, it's an hour-long drive. You down? Yeah, sounds great. And just chill. Just enjoy the fucking ride. But we've been driving forever too. Everybody is. Sucks, like, my back doesn't, like, ever since the accident, my back doesn't fucking keep up. I got 4 hours is, like, pushing it, and I'm in excruciating pain. Okay, so I had an accident on December 24th, 2021, I think. It was the Christmas after my grandma passed. I'm sitting at a light, chilling, like a couple miles from my house. I'm just sitting at the light. I'm gonna go see my aunt, go have December 24th dinner and stuff, and this is all before. So, like, my grandma's house was, I think, did they sell my grandma's house? Yeah, no, my grandma's house wasn't sold yet. So, like, that turned into a whole shit show. I got, like, screwed out of a bunch of money. My cousin, I don't talk to my cousin anymore, and I don't talk to my mom. Because money. The funny thing is, the people, they need it a lot more than I do. But it still sucks, because I was really the only one there. And I was the only one, like, really dealing with my grandma. And they got a really good chunk of change. So I hope they put it to good use. Like, I hope that their lives are better because of it. But, yeah, so I'm just sitting there at the light waiting for it to change. I'm there for, like, I don't know, a minute, 3 minutes, whatever. And I get hit, smash from behind. This girl didn't even hit the brakes. Like, never touched them. She just hits me. I'm at a dead stop. She shoots me into the intersection. Somehow, all of the cars drove around me. I had my dog Rooster in the car because I bring him to work with me every day. He went flying. I got hit, like, I got hit from behind, so I had whiplash. Like, my airbags didn't deploy, but, like, I was all over the place. I don't even remember. I think I had my seatbelt on. I'm almost positive I had my seatbelt on, but I'm not 100% positive. But if I would have gotten hit and, like, T-boned in I was in Ford Transit. So I'm a mobile dog groomer. I built this little van. It was my only means of transportation for, like, a long period of time. Like, bro, that van. I'll probably get another van. But that van was so cool. And I went camping in that van. Me and my dad built the van to do grooming and to do mobile grooming. Honestly, it was perfect. I put a lot of, like, love into it. A lot of time, a lot of effort, and blood, because that shit cut the fuck out of me. But whatever. So I get smashed into me. I have herniated disc in my neck and in my lower back. I'm a runner, like, miles. The most I've ever done is 32. It's high as fuck on edibles. And I just kept running. Felt good. Like, at one point, I didn't even, like, look. I didn't look until it was, like, 31 miles. I know this sounds like utter bullshit. I'm 100% positive. But, like, I was in a bad time in my life. I was really stressed out. I had a lot of shit going on. I was just, like, I was working a lot. I was sad. Like, there was a lot. There was so much going on. And I ate, like, 500 milligrams of edibles. And I just went for a run. Like, I had already been running. I was running 10 miles consecutively. I can run 10 miles on any given day. Any given day I can run 10 miles. No problems. Like, not fast, but 8. Maybe a 9-minute mile. But consecutive, like, consistently. Just have a good time. So, and I usually smoke before I go for a run. It's pretty enjoyable. Let me turn off the AC so that it doesn't pop. Like that, I could keep the temperature kind of decent. I need to fix that. I need to fix so many things. And I'm trying to get a sailboat. But, yeah, so I ran like 32 miles. I got really high. And ran 32 miles. I was trying to, like, hurt myself. I had the worst pain. It was so bad. My legs, like, I can't even explain. Like, I was just sitting there. I took like, I got done. I didn't stretch at all. I've been stretching a lot lately, but I didn't stretch at all. And I got done. Oh, and that was also with my barefoot running shoes, the Vibrance 5-finger shoes. Like, all of a sudden, I stopped. I grabbed a Coke, I grabbed food, I put the Coke inside the freezer, I put the food inside the microwave, and I started walking towards. This is probably 5 minutes from the time I stopped running. I started walking towards my shower, and the worst pain I have ever felt in my legs. It almost felt like my legs were breaking over and over and over again. But like at 50% the pain. That's how my brain quantifies that. I got in the shower and I sat and I just let the hot shower, like I have one of those removable shower heads, let that hot water just sit on my legs and I just rubbed them. I even apologized at one point to my legs. This is how you know I'm crazy. So, if you think I'm lying, it's fine. I don't give a fuck. I don't think anybody's gonna watch this anyways, other than maybe like 3 people. But where was I going with that running story? I gotta stop smoking weed because of that. So, I stopped drinking. I haven't stopped caffeine. I haven't stopped sugar. Next one on my list, sugar. And I think weed is gonna go right behind that one. Because I usually don't want sugar unless I'm high. And if I'm gonna get rid of it anyways, like, I feel like that's a good catalyst. I have that whole do 2 things with the same thing idea. Oh yeah, so I want to outfit the boat also for like deep drop. I want to get into deep dropping. Friends are doing, like, I have the opportunity to go do it. I want to get better at reef fishing. Me and Carlos are already working on that. Like, we're trying to go fishing as much as possible. I mean, he does live on the fucking water, and and he has a beautiful fucking boat. So, me getting rid of my flats boat. My boat. Why not? Me getting rid of my flats boat, it's not gonna really hurt me too much. I do want a technical pulling skiff, but I want my buddies. I don't think that's gonna happen, so I think I'm gonna go with the next best thing. I found a suitable boat that I'd be willing to take. I'd probably do some modifications to it to see if I can make it better, but it's pretty good as it is. So I'm gonna outfit the sailboat. Any sailboat that I get, I'm gonna outfit the sailboat to take a flats boat as the tender. I don't really know how that's gonna work. I'm almost thinking of just taking an Aero Rover, the fiberglass one, because I have an inflatable and it is good. And it would be adequate. But the boats that I'm looking at also follow the same suit as this. Like, they're not a very well known, they're good. They're good boats. They're well made, and they do the job that you need to do. But it's a micro skiff. Like, everybody wants to have, 14-foot boat that rides like a 20-foot boat, and that's not the way it works. It's just not. Because a 14-foot boat is not made for the same thing that a 20-foot boat is. A 20-foot boat is not made for the same thing that a 14-foot boat is. But if you ride a 14-foot boat, in the places that their 14-foot boat is made for, they're fucking the best boats ever. That's like a micro skiff in the mangroves or a micro skiff on the river is the best boat you will ever have. It is the most fun. It is the most versatile. It's the most fishing. It is the most sandbar. It is the most everything. It is perfect. If you have a micro skiff that also makes it to the sandbar, even fucking better. And usually you can make it to the sandbar in a micro skiff. Like, if you know how to drive and you obviously are, it's not, blowing 20 miles an hour in the bay. And, 2-foot chop in the bay. But Danny's boat in 2-foot chop in the bay still is okay. It's a good boat. We've almost sank so many times, and it's like it always pulls through. With the 40, it's had a 20, it's had a 25, it's had two 25s. It had a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke, and now it has a 44-stroke. Same performance. All around, flat, perfect. Like, the 40, obviously, much faster. Fish in the same, like, we didn't lose not one spot. There's, like, not one place that we can go with that boat on with a 40 that we went with the 20, or the 25, which was a ridiculously shallow boat. And then on top of that, when he first got it, it was a single, like, it was just a single piece of fiberglass. There was no floor. Like, the floor was the boat. So he put in a second floor, which gives the boat a lot more rigidity. We took that boat out to Flamingo once, and it was cold. It was so cold, and we were not prepared. It was cold. It was fucking rainy. It was so cold, and it was so rainy. Danny had a fucking cold. We went out with Ralphie, I think, and then me. This is when I learned about frog dogs. And then every boat that I've ever owned had frog dogs in it. But it was horrible. And we wanted to go into Whitewater Bay. And we went oceanside, or not oceanside, but like out to go to the open and then just haul ass. And then come in through the back and then fish all the back. So, and it was just rough. Like, we got out in the morning and we got, like, the Everglades will fucking trick you. We get out in the morning and it's chilling. This is back in the day when me and Danny when we would fish, we'd take 2 24-packs. One for him, one for me. And then by the end, we'd run out of fucking beer. Also, a lot of times the beer got fucking wasted because it got hot, because we were fishing, and stuff like that. And then everybody has opinions on heavy drinking of beer. We were drinking Bud Light, always drank Bud Light. And on top of that, it was hot, and we didn't have a lot of food out there. So, calories might be, 20-something-year-old bodies could do that. I could probably do it for like a day or two. And that's all you got. And then I'm recovering for like 3 weeks. So my goal with this channel is to document. See if I could get my buddy to produce this boat. Travel around the world. Become an adult, become more self-reliant, see some beautiful things, and live, and try to check off more boxes than I've already checked off. I've checked off a bunch, so why not a couple more? Maybe I find somebody out there. That would be really fucking cool. And I'm like, oh man, come. And they're like, oh man, that's such a great boat. I'm like, I know, I built it with my 2 hands. They're like, oh man, that's so sexy. I want to have like 30 kids. And I'd be like, best I can do is like 1 or 5 or 0. But ideally, I just want to go, like, I want to go meet some people. I want to go get some new stories. I want to, like, see some crazy shit. If I'm gonna be the drunkle, and, like, you gotta do, if you have this opportunity, if this is the storyline that you got gifted, and it's not kids, and it's not, like, a shit ton of responsibilities, if you could avoid them, great. But if that's, like, that didn't happen, doesn't it make more sense to then also have good stories and, like, do something with it other than just sitting in your fucking trailer watching Netflix, watching fucking sailing channels, working, and just saving up for hopefully something, like, so that when something goes wrong that you have money, and then enjoying life in between all of that. Bro, I ain't about it no more. I'm gonna get completely sober, in the sense of no alcohol, no sugar, no weed, no caffeine. I don't know why I'm counting, but get rid of all those things, eat clean, work out, and get my body the best it possibly can be. Like, it's a race to 35 to get as healthy, as fit, and as, like, get my body to as good as it's ever been. Because, to be real honest, I've been real lazy about it. And I feel that if I get to, like, because I know that the peak is right there, and then everything is going to be downhill, because I'm already feeling somewhat of the downhill, and it's annoying, and I don't like it. There's also a lot more benefits in, like, 30 feels way better than your 20s. It feels so much better. Like, the looming of 30 is gone. Like, that stress, at least for me, like, doesn't exist, because I'm already 30. So I can't, like, what I didn't achieve before 30 no longer exists. And then I learned not to. Nobody wants to see you blow your nose, dude. And then I learned that not setting yearly goals. Like, you should set yearly goals, but not setting, like, a goal of, I'm going to do this before then. Unless you're 150 million% committed to it. Like, I'm the most committed that I've ever been on anything. I've never been this committed to anything. 0 times in my life. To the point where, like, I'm so scared of buying anything. Because I want to put as much money in the bank account as possible, so that I could start this project, so that I can actually get there. And I'm trying, like, I'm willing to put my life and comfort, the comfort that I've created for myself, I'm willing to put that aside and learn a new trade. And a couple of new trades. And if I could intermingle them, great. But I'm so I've never been this committed, and that's only because I'm 30. And I figured it out, like, just one major commitment, and then whatever you could stem off of that, and then figure out if you could figure out how to get happiness, money, and a home, all at the same time, and then on top of that you add travel, on top of that you add experience, on top of that you add, why am I counting? On top of that, like, you add all of the benefits that you get from a gypsy lifestyle, man. It makes sense. If, like, at this particular moment in time, with Starlink, the fact that you could have broadband internet literally anywhere in the world, like, not learning, like, if I could leave my comfort, if I could reduce my bills to basically nothing, then any income is good income. Until bad shit happens. And bad shit always happens. There's always gonna be, like, life is always a couple $1,000s. And that's fine. I make, like, a good amount of money now. If I can make more money, if I can do 2 things at once, if I could do 2 jobs at once, and then have, like, something that is gonna bear fruit in the future, something that is more remote, something that's gonna eventually pay me more, to do that. I don't know what that is. So I'm trying to figure that out. That's why these videos, that's why, like, this whole thing that I'm trying to do. Also, I want to go fucking see really nice places. And to be honest, I think I'm doing what, like, those birds do in the jungle, where they, like, the male bird sets up these super elaborate, like, nest, and he does this dance, and he's like, come on, bitches, let's go. He's trying to just call some girl that he's gonna, like, exist with. I think that's what I'm doing. Girls like doing cool shit, man. I like doing cool shit. I would love to find a cool girl that also wants to do this. And then just, like, I've given up on everything. To be real honest, I don't following through, not a big strong suit. It's definitely something I've been working on heavily. And I'm getting really good at it. And I know this sounds so stupid, because it's like, normal fucking people, like, don't have these problems, I guess. But I have such a problem with following through. I have such a problem with being the most important thing in my life until there's a crisis, and then everybody's more important than me. So I'm trying to figure out man, I'm using all of this to just be a better person, and trying to find a girlfriend or a wife. And if not, then be done with it, and then have a bunch of cool stories, which will inevitably find me a girlfriend or a wife. And if I could find one in the middle of this process, and we could struggle through it, and then, like, you know, have that whole, fuck you, no, and then have that whole, storyline in the book of forever, that'd be cool. But if not, man, it'd just be cool that I did it. I'm sure I could find some people to... What? No. Oh, Dina. Watch. See if Rooster will get jealous. Oh, Athena. Oh, the mamas. Oh. Oh. That rude dog. Oh, the rooster. Oh, the big. Oh, big. Oh, the big. Oh, the big. Oh, the rooster. I'm only taking these two, though. I love you, dog. I love you, dog. Thank you, man. Wow. That's it. This video's already too long. Fuck this introduction. Ah, shit. I just cursed. Now I'm not gonna get monetized. God damn it. No, well, there goes all those millions of dollars of YouTube for YouTube views. What can I say? Bitches love me. Piece of shit. Squish. Squish him. Squish. Squish. Dog clan.